Hi Penguin Platform, how are you? I hope you're all very, very well. My name is Amy and I'm an actress and a theatre YouTuber. So I talk a lot about Broadway musicals and Glee and anything kind of musical theatre related here on YouTube. I actually did a video over on my channel talking about some of my favourite theatre related books that I think every theatre fan should read. I'll leave a link to that down below so that you can go and check that out. I talk about Dear Evan Hansen and The Prom, which are two Penguin books, and then some more of my favourites that I think you'll really enjoy. So Dear Evan Hansen and The Prom are both novels based on the Broadway musicals of the same name. And they really get into kind of the characters' heads and allow these wonderful stories to be shared with people who might not always get the chance to go to the theatre or see the musicals live. So today I thought I would just pop on over here to talk about some of my favourite musicals that I think would make really great books. So the first I wanted to talk about is The Last 5 Years. It's a Jason Robert Brown musical, one of my favourite composers, and it's based around a couple, Kathy and Jamie, who live in New York City in their 20s. Kathy is an actress and Jamie is a writer, and it's all about their relationship over the span of the last 5 years. I've seen the musical quite a few times, and every time I've seen it, the stage is so bare. They usually use very, very little set, maybe like a chair in one scene or a bed, but like that's it. And there's so much that's left to the audience's imaginations, but I would love to have that filled in by a writer. I love New York City as well, and I really like books set in New York City, so I think it would be amazing to kind of hear the descriptions of the city and the feelings of where Kathy and Jamie are living. Something else that is really interesting about The Last 5 Years is it really splits audiences about who people kind of blame for the breakdown of the relationship. Is it the person who cheated? Is it the person with too high expectations who's really kind of high maintenance? And I think that maybe if we had some more context and some different characters, because usually the show is just two people as well. They normally just do it with one person playing Jamie and one person playing Kathy. And to learn more about those characters that are in their world, I think would be really interesting. So I think The Last 5 Years would be a great book. Please, somebody write it. Okay, so the next musical that I think would make a great book is Eugenius. It's a musical set in the 80s, written by Chris Wilkins and Ben Adams, and I love this musical. My cat is even named after the lead character, Eugene. And so basically, Eugene is a self-confessed geek, and he is really into comic books and things, and then these Hollywood producers basically come to his school, and they give the opportunity of one of the students to have their story made into a Hollywood movie. So they choose Eugene's, they start getting it all made into a movie, but the story that he's written about a tough man set in this kind of different land starts coming true, and the characters are like real in real life. It's very cool, but there's only so much that you can fit into a 2.5 hour musical, and I want to know so much more about everybody. The thing with books is that there is just so much more opportunity to add so much more context and backstory and details that I just want to eat up. I think that we do learn quite a bit about Eugene, but I'd love to know more about his relationship with his dad. He's got two friends, Janie and Ferris as well. I'd like to learn more about them, and I just think it would be a great book. So the next musical that I think should be made into a book is the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. It's a bit of a mouthful. This is a William Finn musical. It's one that is a little bit forgotten, I think. It's not super duper popular, but it's great. It basically follows around some children at a spelling bee, but all of the children are played by adults, and it's really cool. In the show, they get people of the audience to come in and also be in the spelling bee as well. It's really fun. It's honestly a great show. I don't think we have spelling bees in the UK. I've certainly never been to one, but I have this kind of strange fascination with them. I kind of grew up loving everything that was quintessentially American. A spelling bee definitely feels like that for me. So the musical follows all the different children who are at the bee, the judges, and the characters are so interesting. They're all very quirky, very out there. Each child does get their own song to kind of say who they are, but I'd like to know more about their relationships. Have they met each other at spelling bees before? What are their families like? What led them to going down the spelling bee route? I think it could be super interesting. I think that would be such a good book. And as I say, the show is kind of underrated, and I'd just like it to get some more recognition. Justice for Spelling Bee. And the final musical that I think would make a great book is A Chorus Line. It's a Marvin Hamlisch show. It's a bit of a classic. It came out in the 70s, but it's really interesting because it's based on real people. It's a really cool documentary all about the creation of a chorus line. A group of dancers sat down and just chatted about their lives and what it's like to be a dancer and the struggles and the aspirations and the love. It's such a good show. It's so interesting. It's the idea of the kind of kick line that you see in musicals where maybe people are big fans of the lead performers but they don't always pay attention to the people in the chorus line. And that is really what the show is all about, and kind of showing the personalities and the lives of those people who are performing 8 shows a week, giving their all. But again, I would love to know more about all of the characters in the show. Much like Spelling Bee, it's all basically set at one big audition where the director, rather than having them all dance, he wants to get to know them as people. Each character, like in Spelling Bee, gets one song to tell their life story, but it's all set just in this one audition day, really. And I just think there's so much more that we could find out about them. Obviously, a lot of dancers in New York City come from all over the world and all over the country in America, and finding out about their history and their culture of the different areas that they grew up, I think would be super interesting. And how people travel from all over the world to do this one job. I just love it. And it's a great show. So that's just some musicals that I think would make great books. Please do let me know down below any musicals that you think would make great books as well. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to Penguin Platform for more bookish videos every week. Thanks so much. Bye!